Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Funded House Live here at South by Southwest 2019. I'm John Zazzaro, President of Media Tech Ventures. I have two incredibly brilliant people in the room with me. We're going to talk about a lot of really cool stuff today. I got Rish Latlakar from Superworld and Gavin Gillis from YGC. And gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. It's great. It's awesome to be here.
You're both doing incredible things, and there's so much ground to cover with your vast knowledge. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're working on now? We'll start with you, Rish.
Sure. So Superworld is an augmented reality platform. It allows anyone to put anything anywhere in augmented reality on top of the real world. So I could see your world, you could see my world, brands could have worlds, right? And then the other thing is we're selling the world. So you can buy, 6th Street and here. It's actually already bought up. All this is bought up already, but you can buy property.
That's insane.
Yeah. So you buy New York and LA, you can buy land anywhere. But when you buy the land, you get a share of the commerce, whether it's advertising or transactions that happen there. And we've opened up, this is all on the Ethereum blockchain, so we've opened that up so other developers can build on top of the world as well. So we're building a real ecosystem. We're decentralized, so unlike Facebook or Google, we're saying, hey, look, come and buy the world, participate, be part. And so it's kind of, be part of it. And so, it's a different model in many ways, and we're utilizing blockchain to make that happen. But really, it's the XR aspect of it, being the VR and AR. You have so many possibilities. Advertising anymore isn't just a billboard ad. It can be a billboard ad that you click on or something.
Right.
But it can be, Betty Crocker cooking cookies with you in your kitchen, right? Or whatever. So that's what we're kind of, I think, trying to do is really create a world that's very contextual and immersive and really, serves everyone who's on the platform. That's the goal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And yourself, Gavin?
It's an incredible use case.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that for sure.
Yeah, so I work with 3 partners here in Austin, Texas, and we have a $200 million target growth equity fund where we partner with companies to help commercialize blockchain solutions inside of enterprise. So we've identified that there are a lot of stalled initiatives, underfunded initiatives, and projects that just need more traction from either marketing, sales, or partnerships to be able to achieve full adoption and scale. So we're scouting for blockchain stuff that works and helping them scale up and grow.
Nice. It's smart money, right?
Yeah,
I'm not just going to invest in it because it's blockchain.
No, very targeted money, very focused on the use cases around identity, privacy, auditability, supply chain, very simple, low-hanging fruit that blockchain does very well.
Well, and you make a good point, right? It's incredible that the low-hanging fruit is still not being widely used and adopted, and because blockchain is still this magical word, right, to people, and there's a lot of mystification around it. But at the end of the day, it's just the underlying infrastructure to a solution that's already solving a problem, right? I mean, the problem or the technology needs to be able to stand on its own without blockchain, right? And blockchain just kind of adds that layer of security and that data infrastructure. So, to kind of talk a little bit about that, Gavin, what have you seen as some of these hurdles, right? I feel like we're still really much so in that education phase.
No, that's absolutely our role, and the role of a lot of leadership is teaching investors, technology leaders, executives about how blockchain is being used. I was attending a panel earlier today, and it was focused on the applications of blockchain for medicine and how it's used in healthcare. And I love that one of the CEOs, the CEO of Continuity Care, talked about he works with a blockchain provider that provides the auditability of his transaction records, and he says this just works. I wouldn't use it if it didn't work. And that's the goal for our fund and our team for the next several months, is really being able to build blockchain as a service, stuff that actually works.
Right.
But in terms of education, there's just a lot of buzz around it. So it's these emerging technologies, these XR, AI, machine learning, blockchain. They fit in this bucket of, fun future toys. Sometimes
that's a great company name.
They're being bought, they're being purchased and implemented and piloted, but there's this death by pilot that happens because there's not a strong way to actually make it work. So we're trying to make sure that blockchain as a service is like real instead of blockchain as an excuse. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Implementing something like AR or blockchain just because it's something du jour and exciting versus something that actually provides enterprise value or value for consumers.
And Rish, especially the world that you play in, both, that blockchain seems to create a lot of security, but also confidence, right? From developers, right? Kind of the marketplace in which you're trying to help and give access to it. What have you seen in your space, blockchain is being a vehicle to help change the media landscape?
Yeah, so I think you're exactly right. The blockchain, again, as Gavin stated aptly, is an ability to give users that trust, the transparency, anonymity in some cases, whatever is really kind of the benefits of having a smart contract that you kind of can put that faith in that it's going to be implemented and executed as you've kind of signed up for, right? And you can make all that stuff happen. So in our world, in XR as an example, there's a lot of moving parts there.
Sure.
And so the blockchain, whether it's media aspects of it or whether it's functional service level aspects of it, so we're kind of allowing a lot of apps to kind of build on our AR real estate on the blockchain. And so all of those benefits of blockchain are really important to all those partners or all
Right.
those uses or whatever is being done commercially on the platform. So yeah, it's and it's evolving, right? So right now, if you buy real estate, you're buying an Ethereum NFT, right? You're buying an ERC 721 token,
Sure.
which is like a baseball card or a collectible, right? And that that also inherently has a smart contract that's built into there, right? It's an Ethereum dApp. But as technology and blockchain and a lot of things Gavin's talking about improves, and there's companies that want to plug in, want to plug in.
It's kind of important.
We're building a world, right?
Right.
So and we say XR right now. So right now it's AR, but
Right.
it's very much VR and MR, and we hope to build an ecosystem that really goes from consumer to enterprise. That's the big vision.
Sure. No, I think it's incredible. I'm still waiting for the article on Bitcoin and Chuck E. Cheese, because it's literally what it is, right?
All tokens. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all tokens. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about, as far as video game space, buying real estate. That stuff's actually been happening for a long time, right? Stuff like EverQuest and some of those games that initially created this economy for people in the digital realms to be able to sell things that they get, right? It's the chest, it's the sword, right? And then you had games, I forget the name of it, the most expensive video game purchase, like $1 million, something like that, of like an entire planet in this other
Second
game.
Life?
I think
Fortnite or something.
no, not Fortnite.
Second Life.
Fortnite's interesting. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it literally had a business on the planet that made real money in like real life.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
really,
so these are digital assets, and this as an asset class is something that we're seeing institutional investors starting to look at.
Yep.
So we live in this world already. Airline miles, digital gold inside of games, the credits we buy in the little mobile games we play, the skins and all the decorative things in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Those are real assets in that the accumulation of someone's effort and time or hobby, just like any art or collectible would be.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? So if I grind through a game and I earn gold or I earn a magic chest, that's something that I can barter for value. It's the exchange of value. And so that's an asset. And it's incredible to realize that those things are being created. And this is this whole layer that you're adding to the world where I could see it being a huge engine for unlocking creativity and sovereignty and being able to build visions. Imagine being able to pitch your government on a new bridge design because everyone likes your version of augmented reality.
Yeah. Well, and interconnectivity too, right?
Smart cities,
We're all going to be staring at our phones more and more as our lives continue. Let's
We're going to move to glasses.
let's create a world where we have that connectivity, but people actually interacting together.
Yeah.
And it's not just me in my own world, but
And
I'm
we're
in a
gonna have
world
glasses.
with other people.
So we're going to look,
Absolutely.
So that's coming very soon.
And so, as far as some of the things in blockchain and on the investment side of things you're really excited about, Gavin, Share with us kind of what you're looking to do with YGC in the next kind of 5 to 10 years, what that looks like for you guys.
Yeah, so for us, again, we see blockchain as something that is one of these foundational technologies that will help drive faster adoption of data between groups. So whether that's a group of, one of our portfolio companies provides the medical records for people without sovereign identities. So if your government never made you a citizen, if you're a refugee, for example, and you try and get health care, you're starting fresh every single time. And so the Gates Foundation has provided Factum with a grant to implement medical wallets and identities for a bunch of people that don't have reliable identity.
That's incredible.
And so if you're receiving continuous care for, say, HIV treatments, or birth control, or diabetes treatments, or if you have these, recurring allergies or other types of consistent medical things, there's no way to authenticate that and carry your medical records around. There's no EHR system you're going to run across, borders. And so being able to just authenticate your records with your biometrics.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
You're you
makes
because,
complete sense.
because of this fingerprint and this iris scan and this blood type. You're you, and no one can take that away.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's where we see these big infrastructure things changing. Parts of
Are they doing it in Estonia as well?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Not particularly this grant, as far as I know. But what I love about blockchain is the fact that you can take data from, say your company, and I can work with your company, and as long as we trust the way that this data goes in, it's now all there together.
Right.
And it speeds up joint ventures, it speeds up collaboration, and it lets us create more complexity at layers without having to go back and audit, double check, recertify, because it's already in there, written once, done right the first time.
Programmatically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, and that's why I'm really excited to see fake news potentially be completely destroyed with blockchain, because I think that's a really solid use case for it.
Yeah.
You just got to have a lot of journalism,
Yeah.
right? That journalists that can actually go on there because it's coming from real sources.
So to touch on some ideas in the media sphere where we see blockchain being really interesting is we're seeing that out here in the lounge where, one, it's a way to improve the intellectual property and ownership and funding sources for performers. So being able to finance a tour or an album or a piece of art through these crowdfunding mechanisms where you can have something that represents. If you think of what Kickstarter is it's debt. You're issuing debt when you buy into someone's Kickstarter campaign. You're lending them money to go build something, and they give you product back in return.
Correct.
So it's really a way of debt financing the future of productivity.
Yeah.
That's one mechanism to fund things. There's also equity. If I could own a part of your musical career, it'd be kind of cool because you're a badass.
I'll give you $15 that I make, every
recorded
quarter
right here. Yeah.
But my song gets played in Starbucks like 1.5 million times.
There you go.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, there you go. Let's make a deal.
I need more bourbon.
So equity is another mechanism. There's futures. There's other ways to trade this. So it's an ability for people to have ownership of things they wouldn't otherwise have access to, and it's ways for people to seek funding of things they wouldn't otherwise be able to fund.
That's right, and it's secure, right? So again, right, we got to always come back to that because you have Patreon, right? I mean, you have these other vehicles that created these infrastructures to.
Well, and even just the monetization from YouTube. I mean, as vilified as that is in some contexts, like Patreon.
Some context.
Yeah.
Some.
No, I mean, but in other contexts, it's been this Cambrian explosion of artists.
Yeah.
Because there are niche interests. There are people that find massive popularity through their ability to communicate via YouTube or push their content through Instagram.
So
or
actually,
build out their
so
content
I want to
through
talk
Patreon.
about that.
Yeah.
When you look at the XR space, right, and you look at how do you see the influencer market playing a role in that?
In the XR space?
Yes.
So I'll tell you something we're doing at Superworld. So, as opposed to someone's, showing an Instagram photo or taking a photo of, a purse or something and posting it on Instagram, right now in Superworld, I can share my place with you. Say, hey, walk around my apartment, and you can walk around. It's all CG, but I can put digital products into the kitchen or into the closet, into the bedroom. I can sell. So I'm now selling a virtual world within the world. So it's like 2 levels, right? So now it's not just, or I could say, hey, check out what I did this afternoon. Boom. And now you're like living my life, right? So this is my point: is that influencers can utilize immersive marketing within Superworld as an example that allows them to do much more than show a 2D photo or even a video. Now you can actually you can look around and be in my kitchen. You can look around and be like, I want that stove, or I want this in the kitchen cabinets, right? The whole thing, the whole experience, life can be shared, and you can measure it all.
So let me touch on that, because you see a lot of that trying to be developed now, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's Netflix is trying to get a lot better with, these are the actresses on the screen now, right? Or the actors, and but that product layer still, I don't think, has gotten to a solid adoption, right? Of here are all the products in this YouTube video, and you can go and buy them, right, through Amazon or whatever it's connected to.
Yeah.
Why